to Well This Morning, ladies and gentlemen, with Shazad Khan and Shazad Hashmi, where today, yes, we're very energetic, but also we are in super learning mode because we really want to bring the best out of Pakistan.
Exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, the best part of the way, I've just observed it is that since Shiza knows that, early in the morning, I'm just going to shout out and I'll be like, hey, what's happening? So right after the break, she's like, hey, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And I was like, okay, that's cool and that's fine as well. But I think that the tone is set because of the fact that we're talking about education and how we need to move forward with our future generations, ladies and gentlemen. But now, since we were in conversation with Mr. Katana, who told us that, we really need to bring up students or, kind of give them or impart them the knowledge which they can use to have a good skill set, which they can use later on to innovate and develop and build and have entrepreneurship to themselves as well.
And rather than a follower, be a thinker.
Exactly. And, this is something which we really need to see in our kids at a very younger age, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's going to tell you, okay, what, kids, today we are going to read this paragraph and you're going to let us know what does the paragraph say. We do not want that now. I think we want kids to write their own paragraphs now, and this is something which we are talking about. Critical thinking, ladies and gentlemen, is something which is missing. This is an element which has been missing for a longer period of time from our education system at a very younger age. People do not tell you apple, A for apple. Well, nobody's going to ask you why is A there in apple in the first place.
And from how many years are we going to study Goodbye Mr. Chips? I mean, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So we really need to step up our game with the schools as well, and we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by people who came up with this brilliant idea that we really need to work on critical thinking and the processes which will take us through and make sure that we will be one of those people who will think about the entire scenario and come up with a solution. And this is something which we wanted, smarter kids, ladies and gentlemen. So without any further ado, we're very lucky because this gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, has all the respect, and there's a reason because we have been in conversation for a longer period of time. He's been on the show almost 5 years ago as well, and 3 years ago, and 2 years ago, and I've seen him progressing. And now, alhamdulillah, he happens to be the Chief Executive Officer of the Thinking School. He is Mr. UMAIR. QURESHI, hello sir, Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Absolutely perfect. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. A very learned man, indeed. And ladies and gentlemen, the director of the Thinking School, Zikria, Mian sahab, is with us as well. Hello Mian sahab, Assalamu alaikum.
Salam, sir.
Sir, Mian sahab, your name is very amazing. So every lady who's going to call you is going to say Mian.
That's why you used to tell the marks, don't call me Mian.
So Zikria sahab, ladies and gentlemen, is with us. But let's get started. I think that was the only critical thinking I was going to do. But Mian sahab, you've heard the preamble of what we wanted for our kids as well. Now you've taken your own initiative and you said that that the thinking school will actually make our kids critical thinkers. What are we trying to imply over here?
So, Shazad, we know that there is a contemporary schooling system in Pakistan. And that was more focused on, cramming and, memorizing and producing results and grades and all that stuff.
Exactly.
But there is a major change in academics. The worldwide, everyone is now expecting the people who come up as problem solvers. And that is not restricted to the university level. Because, the job conditions, the change in industrial area and industries have actually totally been changed due to artificial intelligence and all that. So today, where in the market we previously needed 60,000 people as manpower, today we hardly need 6,000 people because obviously artificial intelligence has taken over. Now the big thing is, and we all are familiar with one thing, that in Pakistan there is a recent concept of entrepreneurship that has been admired by the people, and that has been taken in a way that people should come up as entrepreneurs rather than job seekers. Now, why I started with that part, because if you want entrepreneurs to come up, they need to be thinkers as well.
Absolutely.
They need to understand where are the problems. And it's not like you first
thinking in that course.
Basically, in simple words, like the critical thinking is to ask the questions and to provide the reasons. When looking the background of the critical thinking, it's all depend on the logic. When people are saying this logical person, his logic is clear, but how is logic? how is logical person? That's what we have to understand.
Yes.
In Pakistan, mostly we are following the conventional method in teaching and studying and that thing. It should be more towards the assignment-based, task-based, and should be more creative. Because when somebody asks a question, or student asks a question, it's being ignored in a class, I think so they should be pushed to ask the question, to provide the reasons, to give them a time to have the observations. So when we talk about the policies, so I think so probably all those social sciences subject or humanities subject should be carried on with the same assignment-based, task-based, activity-based learning.
Exactly, and that's wonderful. Thank you very much for saying that, because when we, when I think initially when I started with my university assignments and task-based activities, actually helped me, be in conversation with other people, teamwork and everything. It did help me. But now, since the CEO of the Thinking School himself has said that, he's quoted that, not everybody's got the same ability of learning. And since we're talking about critical thinking anyways over here, and that too with the Thinking School's director, how do you make sure that you're going to, give each and every kid their space to learn whatever time they take and however they want to come about it? So because, for schools, it does get difficult. And not just that, in today's time, what I've witnessed is that obviously, the world needs to go on. And, this is a question for both of you anyways, that I've seen that there's been a decline in the performance of kids with online schooling, even though the schools just want their fee and, they send their teachers online. So, okay, well, you know what, the class is done. But what I'm witnessing is that the student who was actually a student of class 1 or grade 2, he or she cannot write anymore now because, they've been doing things online only. And there has been no intervention and the teachers are not even worried about it. The school's only worried about the fee. How do you think that there needs to be a change within the online education system now that people at least learn? You're not only there for your face saving that, okay, we need a fee after a month's time and that's why, because we were there. We want our kids to learn. So I'll start right.
So you asked two questions, and I pass on the second question to Zikria.
All right, the first one.
First one is that you're right. Apparently, it's very difficult for like 5 years old child teaching him or her critical thinking. What we do at Thinking Schools, we brought thinking maps. Now, be with me and bear with me.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever we learn, we get a picture in our mind.
And I take it to her the next day and she's like, this is not a tree. And I was, can you believe it? She didn't approve it because it was not shaped like a tree.
Because that's how she learned it, that's what it was.
I had a similar, experience. Someone asked me to draw a family tree. I drew a family bush. I didn't believe in trees. You started from your grandmother. I started from my cookie. So it's that image that comes out. Actually, and let it be.
Yeah.
It's all okay.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm not able to figure out is that, first you said that you drew a family bush and then the first name you took was cookie. But all right, moving on to the directives I'm aware as well, where, the second question was posed to you that, kids these days, just because it's online education, are actually missing out on a lot of things. They've almost wasted a year. Now they cannot even write, for whatever they have learned. We're talking about smaller kids, grade 1, grade 2, where they were just learning ABC or probably 1, 2, 3 or how to write or connect the dots. But they cannot do it now. They've forgotten it. So what's the point of having online classes if they do not know anything?
So that honestly, thanks to the COVID, we have this experience, the online distance learning. Because still in Pakistan, all over the world, I'm not saying only in Pakistan, because we are still in developing stage. We supposed to be called in 4G technology or 5G technology, but still we are not going by 5G. The problem coming up when we talk about learning, online learning or online distance learning, we still have got